Hello everyone, my name is Shanahan, and this is Every Movie Has a Lesson. This is a film website that reviews movies with life lessons in mind, from the serious to the farcical, and with the idea that every movie can teach a lesson. It's written by a former school teacher, myself, Don Shanahan, and today we're going to look at the movie Draft Day. Okay, today, coming out this Friday, I was lucky enough to see a very well in advance screening of Draft Day starring Kevin Costner way back in January. For me, this is quite an odd-looking thing. I think all of us think of Kevin Costner as very much of a baseball movie kind of guy, but it's kind of weird to me to see him in a football movie. But I think you're going to have a good treat with this movie. It is opening in theaters this Friday, and let me tell you a little bit more about it. Kevin Costner stars as Sonny Weaver Jr. It's a fictional account of the NFL draft coming up in 2014. He plays Cleveland Browns general manager Sonny Weaver Jr. He's the son of the legendary coach there, who recently passed away, and now he has been the GM for a while. He's actually the general manager that fired his father and brought in a Super Bowl winning coach played by Dennis Leary. The conflict that comes in this story, and there's a lot of twists and turns because it's a very busy day, is that's the NFL draft and the team has needs. What the team is looking for is impact players at the positions they need, but the glamorous owner that they have, played by Frank Langella, very much in a Jerry Jones looking part, wants to make a big splash. Sonny, feeling the pressure of that, makes a huge trade to move up from the 7th pick in the draft to the 1st pick in the draft. When he does that, waiting in the wings is the consensus #1 pick, who's a stud quarterback out of Wisconsin. This leaves Sonny and all the Cleveland Browns scrambling on the day of the draft to see and figure out who they're going to pick. The movie, like I said, has a pretty decent amount of twists and turns. That some you see coming, some are a little preachy to the job, some get mixed in with some workplace kinds of things. I really found this movie to be very entertaining. I think it's perfect for football fans. I think you got a great cast of characters in here. Dennis Leary's a good time. Jennifer Garner holds her own with the boys. Most of all, the charm of Kevin Costner wins. He's always this kind of guy. We like when Kevin Costner is this kind of guy. He has great fun playing this role. A lot of people see this movie in the commercials and think, oh, this is just Moneyball. Moneyball is a very serious drama with different, more looming implications. This is a fun and breezy movie. It's directed by Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters. It's only his second movie this century, after No Strings Attached from 2001, but it's a nice, easy, breezy film. It uses a lot of fun split-screen techniques to kind of move you from city to city, phone call to phone call, action to action. This movie kind of avoids the sports cliches of having a big game finale. It's more about the back dealings of this and that. It has full cooperation of the NFL and a lot of brand merchandising and placement. It's definitely a product placement kind of movie, but I tell you what, it's a very entertaining thing. I grade my movies out of 5, and I gave Draft Day a pretty high 3. I think I was wrestling with giving it a 4, but it is very predictable. I didn't want to give it anything lower than a 3 because it is just so entertaining. I think Kevin Costner fans will like it again. I think NFL fans will like it. Fun little date movie for both guys and girls. And like my website, I stress the lessons. So let's move from the next slide to the lessons. Okay, lesson number 1. And bear with me while I write. Like I told you last time, my penmanship has not improved. Lesson number 1 is the many factors that go into drafting an NFL player. If you do your homework behind the scenes, or if you're a football nerd like myself, you know that the NFL draft turns out to be pretty much the ultimate job interview. These guys behind the scenes, whether they're general managers or scouts, really look at the different players to a point where they are pretty much crazy, anal, and over-particular. The movie shows that in a small degree, but know that in real life it is multiplied and magnified by 300 potential players that teams could take. They go through deep character references. They go through every little nitpicky thing. We might watch this movie and think these guys are crazy, but know that it happens on this scale all the time. They are that into their jobs. They are that into getting these picks right and they are that into seeing that the best player comes in, because it's an expensive thing and it's a business. These guys are given $1 million contracts for a reason. The players you see being kind of tossed around or being the possibilities in this movie are a linebacker played by named Vontae Mack, played by Chadwick Boseman from 42. You can have a hometown hero and a running back who's the son of a former Brown, played by NFL player Arian Foster, and then you have that stud quarterback played by Josh Pence from Battleship. So you have the woulda, coulda, shouldas, you have the what if we do this, but what if we do that kind of wheels and deals, and it's definitely an insightful thing into that process. I think a lot of us don't get to see this when we watch the draft on television. We just see a lot of guys on phones, a lot of guys sweating in green rooms, but this is kind of a fun little behind-the-scenes peek that I think a lot of fans will like. Okay, the second lesson, and this one's going to take me a little bit to write as well, deals with where Sonny's coming from. Lesson number 2 is being influenced in many other directions than your own. Your own at the workplace. I think this isn't to the degree of something like Office Space, where did you get that memo, did you do your TPS reports? But you'll see that Sonny Weaver, despite being the final say, is being tugged in many directions. I think a lot of us feel that in our own jobs where we have multiple bosses or multiple influences. I know as a school teacher we all have principals, we all have curriculum people, we have the parents, we have the students, we have a lot of people tugging us to do one thing or another, one right way or one wrong way. In this workplace you definitely have that. You have coaches, you have scouts, you have the salary cap, you have, in this case with Kevin Costner, even his own mother critiquing and micromanaging his every decision, let alone all the meatheads that watch and listen to television and sports radio following the draft and calling in and asking for this guy's head in a platter. We all know, especially as Bears fans in Chicago, we see how general managers are treated, and it's not a fun job to be in. When done right, you really get to make a beautiful thing, but it's hard when you're influenced in many other directions. That brings us to the third and final lesson, and like I said, one of these days my penmanship is going to get better. Lesson 3 is the desire to build your own legacy or dynasty. Alright, getting there? Not bad. Alright. In this lesson, what we're talking about here is Sonny's desire to kind of step in and do it his own way. Despite lesson 2 and all the people tugging him in his direction, he's the guy. He's the final say. He wants to be able to build the team he wants. As a football fan, I kept thinking of Bill Parcells' famous quote of, if they want you to cook the dinner, at least they ought to let you shop for some of the groceries. And Sonny Weaver wants to buy his own groceries. He wants to do the right thing for his team. He wants to do the right thing for his legacy, for his father's memory, for the great people of Cleveland. And it's a nice thing to see. It's a little bit kind of cliche and cute to kind of maybe make fun of Cleveland a little bit and how bad their sports team is, but it's a proud people that deserve a championship, and he wants to put his stamp on that. I think all of us at our own workplace want to have our own control in order to build our own legacy, whether we're an artist, a teacher, any kind of executive. I think you want something that you do at your work to matter. I think you want in your head that envisioned retirement ceremony where you said, you know what, I went out and I did it my own way. That's what you kind of get from a movie like Draft Day. Like I said, I can't really give too many twists away. I think it's a fun date movie. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think it's worth your time. I gave it a 3 out of 5, and I hope you go see it this weekend. That is my movie of Draft Day. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep these Show Me things going. In the meantime, my website is Every Movie Has a Lesson.com. Please go there whenever you can. My print review has been up since January, since I saw the advanced screening. I have reviews for Captain America, the Grand Budapest Hotel, and I hope to add a few more. But in the meantime, Every Movie Has a Lesson. For those of you who know me, I hate movie popcorn, so please, like I say at the end of these, don't leave me any popcorn. Good day, everybody.